Look at what's happening in this country. Ignacio's despair. He took one of his aides, this bunch of Pellegrata, his aide, Yanya's aide. From that group there, which has a ton of people who earn a lot and do nothing, the lady is now encouraging people to eat expired meat. Yeah, it seems unbelievable, but it is. The woman recorded a video. She actually had the nerve to record a video with meat from 2024. She posted it there, she made a video and all that. Then, people ended up finding out the expiration date of the meat. It expired in 2024, and she was showing there that it's possible to eat with just 10 reais. You can have a nice plate of pasta with 10 reais. This group is more senile than Lula. These guys are desperate. Completely desperate. Guys, before we start, real quick, I want to let you know that I lost 20 kilos with this product here. It helps a lot, especially in those anxious moments. When we want to go on a diet, we last 1 or 2 days, and by the 3rd or 4th, it gets complicated. You start getting hungry and all that. Slim Fever is exactly for that, to control that anxiety. We also use it to burn the fat from many foods that we sometimes end up eating. For 2 months, I always recommend this product here because it helped me a lot. It helped me a lot. I know how hard it was to lose weight without Slim Fever. Why? We reach a certain age, especially after 40, and it's harder to lose weight. I exercise every day and I still wasn't able to lose weight. It's not just a product or just advertising. It's a product that helped me lose inches. And if it helped me, it will definitely help you too. We always make a prognosis. And yes, we can lose 20 kilos in less than 2 months. Less than 2 months? I'm sure you can do it too. I'm putting the photos here for you to see. The product is very good and really helps us have a different quality of life. The link is right here below. For anyone who's interested, it's really a great opportunity to get slim, get skinny, and have a much better quality of life. The link is right here below. This group that organized his campaign in 2022, including this lady here, this lady was one of those who organized it with the Workers' Party supporters. To do what Janones ordered to be done, which was to lie as much as they wanted, to spread fake news, they had to activate the Janones mode. Because Lula has been losing a lot of popularity. Look at the desperation of these people, okay? We can see that Lula is senile. He's senile. This was on Friday. Look at what he did. This can't be a normal person. He must have been really drunk. Just look. And the worst part is there are people who applaud. There are still people who applaud Pele. That's what there is. Just watch. Look at this nonsense.
Look, you always have it, sir. Thank you very much. I now give the floor to Silvio, our Minister of Ports and Airports.
He does these antics for attention, and now I come here so you can show it. That lady went there and posted it on her social media. Lunch for 10 reais. Who's in? Lula's advisor, who works right there in Lula's core campaign team with Janones and so on. She herself has already said here several times, you have to lie as much as you want. You have to activate Janones mode. Lula must be outraged with her, huh? Lula must be nervous. He is.
It weighs and trembles, and I was challenged to have lunch with 10 reais. Can I do it? Let's make some pasta.
Then she went there to challenge me to have lunch with 10 reais. She got the lowest quality pasta, she says here. Look, it was at Mufado. Let's check the price. 1.99. On credit for real. This is humiliating, as if someone who has a certain situation... Even worse, right? She has to be forced to eat the worst quality food just to have lunch with 10 reais. In the end, she says, so it's all right for someone who earns 600 reais. In other words, the poor are forced to eat the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst.
Let's make some pasta that's 1.98, then I'll get the sauce that's only 98.
Look at Moro, Sapore. It must be one of those Chinese sauces, you know? They're putting out stuff from China in the market, right? Look at Bavos.
Grab an onion, right, to add some flavor, some garlic, and let's go. It all cost 4 reais.
That's what I want to show you. She had lunch all proud because she bought the pasta, the onion, the garlic, the sauce. It came to 4 reais and 71 cents, right? There's a detail here. Look, if you look here, look where I'm showing. It's really small, right? Let me see if no, I can't zoom in, okay? A purchase of 4 reais. For 4 reais, you're paying 80 cents federal and 52 state. Did you know that in the United States? For food in the United States, you only pay 7% tax. 7, just 7. There are places where it's even cheaper. Here you don't pay taxes so the country can pave the roads or provide health care for the people. No, you pay taxes to support freeloaders. That's the reality here. It's all freeloaders. You see the cost of the judiciary? It's outrageous. Over 130 billion a year, it's something absurd. Absurd. You're gonna die from... You pay higher taxes than Switzerland and get worse services than Congo. That's a fact. The service you get is worse than Congo's, and the taxes you pay are higher than Switzerland's. That alone is enough to make you angry. Let's go.
Everything cost 4 reais and 71 cents. Then I went to the butcher shop and got 5 reais.
See what she says? She stopped at the butcher shop. And then she bought it. Look, she even put the receipt here. São José do Rio Preto. And the worst part is that this woman here is from my city, man. That really upsets me. This woman here is from my city. She's from my city, unfortunately. I apologize to the entire Brazilian population for having Lula's aide here in our city, making our people go through this. Huge embarrassment, right? Here it is. Look, ground beef, she says here that she paid RP 19.99. That's a lie. There's nowhere she's going to pay. RP 19.99 for ground beef here in Rio Preto. Nowhere. I can guarantee you that. Nowhere. But you'll see the truth later, okay?
I went to the butcher, bought RP 5 of ground beef for bolognese sauce, and started cooking. Boil water, add oil, and saute.
Then she shows here what she's making, the food, you know, whatever. Then she eats all proud. And...
Guys, look how warm it is. My RP 10.00 lunch is so delicious. And if you can have lunch for RP 10.00, you can also have dinner for RP 10.00. So, our 20.00 a day can feed a person. Over 30 days, that's our 600.00, the Bolsa Familia amount. See? This is only possible because it's a left-wing government. That's why...
In other words, the poor have to eat pasta every day. 20.00 with RP 600.00. That's all he does. With RP 600.00, you can survive. The guy doesn't pay rent, he doesn't pay for water, he doesn't have internet, he doesn't pay for electricity, he doesn't buy anything for his kid. Nothing. Guys, what world did these Workers' Party supporters who work for Lula live in? It's a lot of trickery just to try to convince people, right? It's a lot of trickery. Do the L. It's an aberration, man. It's humiliating the people. This Lula crowd, they humiliate the people, man. Like, just be happy there. But then she showed the package of this meat here, the pasta, the onion, the garlic, and the traditional sauce. She must have arranged the receipt with a place out there. Because you'll see from now on, look at what Lula's team, Lula's advisors are doing to try to convince people that Lula is really great because he gives... Keep watching here. She posted here, look, that she had paid $, $19.99 $, 29.03. She posted this today. It's a lie, saying that Pan, who's one of the biggest in flu. She's practically an investigator, Pan Costa. People caught her lying. See that picture of the ground beef over there? March 16th, 2024 was the date. The guy's Joaquim, a comedy profile here on the internet, posted it. A pro-Lula blogger eats a meal with expired meat to defend Lula's government and shocks the internet. She doesn't look very good. She should see a doctor, says the reader. Those advisors of Lula, the guys are posting. They're posting images of expired food to be able to say that things are cheap at the market, man. It's a lot of dishonesty. It's a lot. Look at that. Here you can see it perfectly, right? The enlarged image. March 16th, 2024. That's a lot of dishonesty even for Lula's standards. So what does Pan... I'm telling you, these internet people here, especially Pan, she's like a detective. She caught De Tremura in a possible contradiction. De Tremura is that advisor to Lula. To defend Lula and promote the political agenda of Bolsa Familia, she stated in a video that it would be possible for a person to have lunch and dinner for 30 days with 600 reais in benefits. But this kind of narrative completely ignores the reality of a Brazilian family. It's not just, like I said, it's not just the plate of food. There's water, electricity, gas, rent, transportation, medicine, school supplies, hygiene products, a series of other expenses that weigh on the budget. A supporter of the Workers' Party is so shameless that he wants people to have only the bare minimum and say everything is fine, and thank the daddy for being the father of the poor. Look at that. Reducing the life of someone in need to a simplistic calculation of a 10 real lunch is to treat with contempt those who really struggle to put food on the table. Besides that, the very elements presented in the video raise doubts. The purchase of the supermarket items, pasta, sauce, garlic, and onion, was made on March 20th. The purchase of the protein, the meat, 254 grams of ground beef, was made separately on March 21st. 2026, according to what she said there. The receipt presented for the ground beef does not have fiscal validity. It is just a simple proof of verification. In other words, it is not a valid invoice for formal proof of purchase. Therefore, Denise did not pay the taxes and fees on the protein for her lunch, 10 reais. In the WhatsApp conversation, the butcher informed that Pan called the butcher shop, called there. The simple verification receipt states that the price per kilo of ground beef is around RM 34.99. However, on the receipt shown by Denise, the price per kilo appears as RM 19.99. In other words, they must be manipulating, and manipulated it very badly to make it look cheap. She said it was lunch, but the butcher shop receipt shows the time as 5:13 post-meridian. Given that, the question remains, can we take seriously this kind of narrative that's put together to sell a reality that that poor Brazilians, don't actually live? Big Pan. Pan is this lady right here. Let me show you. You know her. If you don't know her, you need to. She's a great influencer. Wonderful. One of the most hardcore Bolsonaro supporters out there. If anyone says anything bad about Bolsonaro here, Pan is right there with all the arguments in the world. Pan, look. I'm proud to be able to follow her. She's an amazing, amazing person. I'm lucky that she follows us here, right? So, look, here it is, sirloin steak with picanja flavor. Thanks, Lula. 44.98, everything is expensive at the market, guys. Look here, the lady, Lula's advisor, okay? Lula's advisor. I just left the market now. Mufa was empty. It was empty, okay? But then, let's continue here. Look here, here's the photo. Leo Lins posted it too. Ground beef expired on March 16th, 2022. And there she is, and all. Look, I've seen it all. Lula is capable of anything here, CNN is saying, right? That in 2006, Lula managed to get re-elected with Bolsa Familia as his main program. Would the same benefits package re-elect Lula? Specialist says a striking fact is that 81% of the people interviewed want change. Those guys need, Lula's advisors need to post pictures of food from 2024. Eating expired food too. That's it. According to that lady there, she showed it, Denise, Lula's advisor. To be able to keep the narrative that everything is fine. And that a person can survive today in this country full of taxes with 600 reais. No, the person eats pasta, expired ground beef, Chinese sauce, right? Every day, imagine eating pasta. Every day for lunch, dinner, lunch, dinner. and then you don't pay rent. You don't pay a house installment. You don't pay for gas or water. You cook without gas. You must cook with... It's impressive. Look, this group is no good, but they took down Lula, huh? Lula must be desperate with this video of his assistant that just came out. She tried to help, but ended up ruining his whole weekend. Share this video on WhatsApp, Telegram, Facebook. Hit that like button. Subscribe to Pais e Filhos, Fabiano Guiguet, and join us.